hate to say it, but I think it's time to replace the mat. Not this mat. I can stay. Welcome back to the Skilled Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 30, wow, of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through a bunch of projects that I'm working on, and you can probably hear something printing right now. I am in the process of printing a very large 5th scale snowmobile. And here's where I'm at so far. This is all 3D printed. And this is going to be the majority of this episode. So if you do not like snowmobiles, there's no reason to keep watching. No, keep watching. Because I'll get to other stuff, but this is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about this. I am not a snowmobiler. I do not own a snowmobile. I live downtown. I can't remember the last time I was on a snowmobile. I might have been 2 or 3 years old, back when things weren't safe. Anyway, my friend Ty from Tekin, he was building one of these. He was building the previous generation. This is the new Skeeride 2, and you can get this file. You can get all the files. There are a lot of files. This is a very well put together kit, and you can get this on My Mini Factory. Same place you can get Night Customs files or Mod 19's files. You can also get the files to build this fantastic, it's not done, but this very fantastic snowmobile kit. It is called the Skeeride 2, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. It's not for the faint of heart. You're gonna have to print a lot, so you better have a really good 3D printer, similar to the Prusa i3 Mark III Plus S that I've got. And this thing is just cranking out the parts. The majority of this kit is 3D printed. You can see there are a lot of parts that are already that have gone into this. And some pretty unique design choices were made to allow for a lot of printed elements. You wouldn't think 3D printing is strong, but when you combine it with a lot of hardware and really smart design sense, you can make some pretty amazing things with 3D printing. And this is one of those really great examples. You can see we've already got sort of the snow tunnel. This is the curved area here that will kind of help keep snow out of the vehicle. These are the skids that the tracks will actually run on. And then there's a lot of, oh, of course, it's 10 o'clock. Everything that you need is very handily added to a very, very, very good manual that's included with the files. And you will need the manual, trust me. There are so many parts and so many pieces and so many additional things that you will need to purchase in order to make this happen that without that manual, you would be completely lost. Trust me. If you go on Instagram, his name is @build_it_better. And I'll put that right there so you can read it. But that's the gentleman that came up with this design. There was a Skeeride 1, and it had been modded a lot. A lot of people had added their 2 cents to make it a much better design. Build It Better took all of that feedback and created the Skeeride 2. And this one is very awesome. It is a belt-driven system. There are some things that you will need to buy, obviously. All the hardware, a steering servo, a motor, an ESC, and a couple of shocks, as well as a bunch of other like miscellaneous sort of things like threaded rod, some solid rod, springs. There's a bunch of stuff. It's all featured in the manual, and you cannot mess this up. If you buy all of the things in the manual, and there are links to Amazon in the manual, primo, and you print all the parts, you will end up with a snowmobile. And it's a big snowmobile. And if you want it bigger, there are files to make an even longer snowmobile. You can go all the way up to like 175 millimeters or something, I think, in terms of the overall length of the tunnel, which is pretty cool. Lots of modularity already built into this project. I am powering it currently with a Savox SA1231SG servo. I'm sure it'll be enough. It really only has to handle the front skis. So this is the front. And this is the back. I'm also using a Spectrum 2-in-1. This is the Firma 2300 kV 2-in-1, so I do not need an additional ESC. I will need a receiver still, and there will be a spot to put that, obviously, right up here somewhere. Yeah, it's coming along, and I'm really impressed with the quality of everything. And of course, in the manual, there are some pretty specific instructions on what colors or what groups of colors you should be printing everything. And of course, that's on the last page, and I didn't read that page. So that's why some things are different colors. The tunnel was printed in 2 different filaments. I'm gonna have to go ahead and pretty much disassemble most of it, and then I'm gonna prime and paint it so it's all one color. I'll do it all in sort of like a dark sort of battleship gray. The rest of it though, I did pay attention to what needed to be what, and now we've got the proper colors going. So there's going to be a yellow and black theme for the body and the skid, and then the rest of it's going to be a dark gray. Up front, we'll do the same yellow skis, and we'll also do all the suspension bits in black as well. So I think it's going to look really nice when it's all done, and I cannot wait to get it out on the actual snow, which we're supposedly getting this week. I've got a lot of things that I want to put on the snow, and actually, why don't we get some other things that are snow-worthy on the bench? I bet you're going to see a bit of a theme. Tracks. You need them for snow. Tires don't work that well in the snow. Tracks definitely do. And I built this Traxxas TRX4 Huna van last winter. I think I finished it just before Christmas, and then I took it out in early January. That sounds right. I don't know. Years of kind of, they're all blending together. But this one is just basically the TRX4 with the Trax kit and the Charisma Prairie Wolf van body. It's supposed to be, I think, a Chevy, but of course I ruined that. And Night Custom designed a custom grill for me with the Ford Devi logo on there. Yeah. I did all the Lexan paint work myself, painted on the inside and then flat clear on the outside just to give it a bit of a look. And this was definitely a tribute to Ken Block's Raptor truck with tracks, or Raptor tracks, maybe that's what it was called. Night Customs does offer a full interior for this body, and I did use it. And then once I glued it in, I completely forgot to put a driver in there. So it's glued in there really good and not coming out. But yes, tracks are definitely very, very cool. This one also has a Spectrum 2-in-1 in it, I believe, and does quite well. I wouldn't mind a tiny bit more wheel speed because you do lose an awful lot with tracks. There's a ton of reduction here, so something that I would definitely consider doing in the future. Otherwise, it's in perfect working order and ready to hit the slopes anytime. So hopefully there'll be some snow here. If you've got any questions or you want to know more about some of these vehicles, by all means, throw a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video and you want more RCs for the snow seasons, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get an update anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. I think that's what I say. So yeah, not much really to talk about here. I painted these tracks myself. You can actually take the whole assembly apart, pull this off, paint it whatever color you like. Other people have done the same thing, which is pretty cool. Fun truck, for sure. Definitely a weird one, though. In addition to all the printed elements, there is a full light kit from My Trick RC, including a top light bar there. There's also another light bar underneath here, headlights, and rock lights as well, or snow lights, I guess, as they would probably be more appropriately named. And finally, what's on the bench? A vehicle I think everybody should at least own once, and that's the Kyosho Blizzard. This is the 2.0, which is their more recent or most recent iteration of the Blizzard. And mine's completely stock. The only thing I changed was the driving mechanism. I swapped out the old stick-style controller because I just can't wrap my head around that. And I did update it to work with mixing on my DX5 Pro. Much easier to run. However, the ESCs are a little underpowered, as well as the motors. These are the smaller 380 size motors, and while it does fine in nice powder, as soon as you start trying to push any snow around with the plow, it does tend to bog itself down and not really do much. There are a lot of upgrades available for the Blizzard because these have been out for a very long time and have not changed very much over the years, thankfully. You can change out the entire ESC system to a much more sophisticated ESC system, which I will probably be doing, because also the ESCs that are included have a really terrible BEC. I tried plugging some lights in, and I'm pretty sure I broke something. So we're going to have to do a bit of work on the old Blizzard here to get it up and running again. But that would make for a nice, fun winter project, especially with snow finally coming. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And that's pretty much it. I think that's all I've got for What's on the Bench Snow Edition. Definitely check out Skeeride. That is a really awesome product and something I'm really excited to get finished very soon. In fact, most of the suspension pieces are printing right now and should be done in about 5 more hours. Then we're on to body pieces, I guess. So, exciting stuff happening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.